Let me guess, you signed up for every free lead magnet and binged on every marketing YouTube video and thought, what am I missing? Why isn't my business exploding like that? Well, I can tell you, you're not alone. Whether you're just getting started or have an established business, entrepreneurship can be really lonely. But it doesn't have to be. Overcoming your fear of launching or building your personal brand or figuring out how to scale, it shouldn't be holding you back. It should be empowering you. On this podcast, we're going to deep dive into the mechanics of what it takes to build your brand, make your mark, and stake your claim in the digital marketing space. I'll be chatting with people from all walks of life and stages in their careers. I will be getting inspiration from real experts who will share their actual strategies and techniques to grow loyal and raving followings and sell more stuff. This is entrepreneurship from people who are already there making it happen. My name is Jeff Mendelson. Join me and welcome to the One Big Tip podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. And today I am really pleased to have John Vuong, the owner of Local SEO Search, based in Toronto, Canada. John helps small and medium-sized businesses rank on Google and dominate their local markets, both on the search engines and on the map packs. And he's got some really great information about the best way to onboard clients and keep them, managing their expectations and basically just providing a great service for them. So, John, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks a lot for having me, Jeff. I'm delighted, and I look forward to this conversation.
Great. So, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about Local SEO Search and what makes you guys amazing at what you do.
Perfect. Well, I started this agency in 2013 with no SEO background. Right. My background was actually I was in sales and marketing in the printed space. So I used to work at Yellow Pages. So for me, I worked in the local advertising space, and a lot of those customers of mine just was frustrated with spending a lot of money, low ROI, and they were seeing a shift. People were no longer spending money locally in the printed directory. So I saw an opportunity, and that's where I learned as much as I could about SEO and started my own agency and went out and got clients.
So what was interesting is that, when you and I connected, you told me that you started this agency before you even had a laptop to do it on.
Yes.
Like, how did that work?
Yeah. So the agency, again, I wanted to see if this was something that people were intending to want to purchase off me, right? So I went to some of my old clients at Yellow Pages without knowing if this is a real business or not, right? So I had my smartphone and I just said, look, this is where people are now searching. I'm Googling all the time, and so are hundreds of other prospects. Showed them on the map. This is where I can get you without even knowing how to get people there. I was more of a sales and marketing person, right? So I got my first client, a pet groomer in Markham, Ontario, which is north of Toronto, and they paid 6 months up front. And so I was like, okay, now I have revenue. Now let's try to figure out how to do this to get a client on the first page. So the big thing about running a business is I always look at getting sales up front and getting revenue before knowing how to do it. So I've always been in the mindset of sales and marketing all my life.
I mean, for me, it doesn't get interesting until the money is already on the table, right? Because, a lot of us get these phone calls every now and then like, hey, man, I have this great idea and, I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, yeah, but, it's like, but once they put money to it, then that they're serious. And then that there's something for you to deliver.
Exactly.
So I think that's great. That's a great way to run it. One of the things that you've built your business on is the prospect of under-promising and over-delivering.
Yes.
And I think it's really interesting about how you qualify your clients and how you decide on what niche you want to dive into. So in our pre-call, we were talking about how your agency is probably not the best for lawyers, for example, but you do really well with other niche local businesses. I was wondering if you can talk a little bit about that in terms of how you define those niches, and then how do you go about that prospect of under-promising what you're going to give them, but then over-delivering in spades so that they become raving happy clients.
So just a little backstory. So I did work at Yellow Pages for 5 years, and my VP of sales worked there for over 35 years. So we combined have worked with over 10,000 local business owners in the Toronto area or Canadian marketplace. So we know a lot of verticals, what their trigger points are, what their cost per sale acquisition revenue margins are, and we understand their business language. So from the Yellow Pages experience, we know the top categories and verticals that we wanted to go after because we knew those were the highest producing revenue and profit margin from Yellow Pages. So we backtracked and went back and said, look, what is a good verticals and niches that we wanted to play in that are very much similar to ourselves and how we want to help business owners, right? So we want to align ourselves and our business with customers, which is our clients, making sure that they have the same side of mindset, goals, and aspirations, right? And they treat their customers the right way as well. So aligning ourselves with the right customers is so important in the onboarding process. So and we get inbound leads. So a lot of people who reach out to us, they want the best, right? They want to be on the first page or whatever it may be. We slow them down, we educate them, we ask very specific questions. How long have they been in business? What's their revenue like? Do you actually have a customer base? Like stuff that they would know if they've been in it for a couple of years and they know business, right? And then from there to see if they know a little bit of SEO or what the difference between SEO and advertising on ads and social media is, right? And what we play in the grand scheme of their whole portfolio of advertising and marketing. So understanding that and then walking them through, finding out if they're a good fit. First off, do a competitive analysis, figure out some of the keyword phrases and where they're lacking, how we can improve, and then really see if they're a good fit, right? If they're not a good fit, we try to onboard so particular so that they are going to stay with us for 3, 5 or a lifetime, 3, 5 years or a lifetime, right? Because if you do that very well and refine that process, you're not going to be firing people early on, because those people that you're going to fire is going to be the ones that drain.
You mean firing clients?
Yeah, firing clients. They're the ones that drain you and your team, and they reduce your morale, right? Because they're always hungry to get attention and they want you to focus solely on them. So you have to set your expectations really early on and let them know, this is how we operate. And if you want to work with us, this is what you get. And if you want more, this is the next package, right? And this is an a la carte offering, because time is scarce, right? And let them know, like you are someone that there's hundreds of other agencies, thousands of them, but this is how we work, right? So it's very important to set precedent on who you are and stick to it, right? Like what your values are, what you stand for, and who your ideal customers are. Understand that and you'll be way better off.
That's really interesting because, part of the problem with firing clients, I mean, it sounds like the stupidest thing anyone would do, right? But that's not really the case. Oftentimes, if you have a client that is so draining, that is so misaligned with your values and where you want to take your company, it almost becomes an imperative to get rid of that client. Obviously, you want to do it in a nice way, but it frees up your energy so that you can focus on the clients that know and love you.
Exactly.
And want to see you succeed as well. So I think that's great. Thank you for that.
Yeah, staying positive is so important. And if you're aligned with right customers and your customers see and your staff see that, right? Like I'm going to back my staff 100% because they're committed to ensuring the clients succeed. Like this is the whole industry, right? Why would you take someone on and do harm to them, right? You want to help or else you wouldn't be in this industry, right? So
exactly.
For us, it's like making sure that they understand the process, understand what we're doing together, and really just set precedents early on what you can do for them.
So John, that's really amazing. Thank you so much for that. why don't you tell everyone where they can reach you and how they can reach your company if they want to learn more about
Definitely.
you?
So our URL is www.localseosearch.ca. And if you go to the team page, you can find me and you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. So those are the two places, like my website and social media is usually LinkedIn. We do have a Facebook page. We also have a podcast. But really, I always tell people, educate yourself, learn a little bit more about what you're getting into. If you want to get into SEO or hire an agency, do your own due diligence before seeking someone out, and have questions in mind. Let them know what you're looking for and make sure that they're a good fit with your company. Align yourself.
That's amazing, John. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show. I hope that that you and your family stay safe while we're still here in this quarantine.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for allowing me to be on your show, and I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.